And about 10 minutes in, to demonstrate his point, he starts talking about personal relationships.
Listening, that's a hard thing. Why? Because sometimes you hear things you don't want to hear.
Ooh, Joel, he's talking to you.
And you can't make light of that.
As he says, a person fighting with their significant other might, on some level, not want to listen to them. To listen to them, to internalize their words and understand them completely can be scary, challenging. It can lead you to the conclusion that you are wrong, that you are not as good a person as you thought you were. Peterson goes on to say,
those are all very important, good points for people to understand.
For Big Joel to understand while he's doing
Right.
a Jordan Peterson video.
Well, that's part of why I think they can't listen to Jordan Peterson. That's part of why people don't listen in arguments, is that there's a mental process. And Jordan Peterson, I don't know if he says it in that speech or if it's when he's talking to Steven Pinker, it might be, where he talks about like how, was it him or was it Sam Harris? I think it was him, because I just saw this. He was talking about how part of the way to sort of fight against sort of this mental conditioning is to, when you're having a conversation with someone, you repeat back to them their point every time they make it. If you're having like a disagreement with someone, and how that like takes a lot of the emotion out of the conversation. And part of the reason why I think people don't actually listen or hear people in arguments is because there's like a process where if you listen and the words actually enter your consciousness, like they actually change the way you're thinking by hearing the words. And so it's like a self-defense mechanism to prevent you from changing your mind, is that you literally don't perceive what they're saying.
Yeah. It's cognitive dissonance.
Right.
that the best predictor of marriage failure is one partner rolling their eyes, ignoring and dismissing the words of their partner.
The best predictor of divorce, if you're a couples counselor, is eye rolling. And that's disgust. And once the relationship is degenerated because of lack of communication, perhaps, malevolence, perhaps, ignorance, and there's nothing left but disgust, there's nothing left of the relationship.
It's obvious to see how Peterson implicitly connects this to society writ large. We have an obligation to respect the words of the other, not roll our eyes, because otherwise, like this couple, society will fall apart. Free speech doesn't just describe a good law then, but also an ethical responsibility to hear people out under the assumption that they might have something worthwhile to say. That's how I read this section anyway, and I think it's a charitable reading, especially because Jordan Peterson has said almost exactly this at other points.
Because if you listen to someone who disagrees with you, and you really listen, they're going to tell you things that will reveal your errors and make you change. And so that was another barrier to listening, is you don't want the person to reveal themselves in their complexity to some degree, because they shake you to the depths of your core certainties.
Now, to be clear, I am pro the concept of being challenged. What's more, I think free speech in a legal sense is a good thing.
Did you catch that?
The concept of being challenged as opposed to being challenged?
Well, that, but he says, I think free speech in a legal concept is a good thing.
Right.
He threw that in
Still,
there.
Core certainties.
Now, to be clear, I am pro the concept of being challenged. What's more, I think free speech in a legal sense is a good thing.
In a legal sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting that he threw that in there. In a legal sense. What about a cultural sense, Joel?
No, you should be able to cancel someone for misgendering.
Yeah. So where do you think Joel's going to go with it? How is he going to find... So Jordan Peterson saying something very true about listening to people, the dangers of why, we don't want to listen to people, why it's important to listen to what others are saying.
Mm-hmm.
How is Joel going to twist this around into making Jordan Peterson the bad guy somehow?
The importance of listening to people.
Yes.
I'm not sure. You want to give me a hint?
No.
Okay.
Chat, how is he going to spin this around? Okay. How is listening to people going to make Jordan Peterson,
Evil?
The bad guy, yeah. Evil.
Listen, how can listening to people be bad?
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
Oh, because he's going to listen to Nazi racists?
Oh, okay.
Am I getting warmer? Am I getting close? He's
Okay,
listening
yeah,
to the
you're
wrong
sort of
people?
in the right. You're in the sort of the right.
He's only
you know.
going to listen to right-wing fundamentalists. He's only listening to the Bible.
Well, you're sort of in the ballpark. You're
Okay.
kind of hitting it. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Let's see. We'll continue.
He's only going to listen to the status quo.
Still,
Did I get it?
I have a few problems with Jordan's choice of rhetoric here. First, and this might be obvious, there's a big difference between a romantic couple and society as
Oh.
the whole. Namely, that sometimes romantic relationships end. Not only that, it can be a good thing when they end.
Oh, okay.
This is literally the dumbest, most
Okay.
shallow and pedantic point.
So sometimes
ever.
you shouldn't listen to people because they're dicks.
Yes. Well, first of all, how dare Jordan Peterson compare society to relationship? Because sometimes relationships should end. Okay. First
Yeah,
of all,
but society shouldn't end. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole
that's
point
his
of the
point.
analogy.
Right. That's his point. Is he's saying societies shouldn't end, but sometimes relationships need to end. Okay. Which this is the dumbest fucking shallowest point. Because as Jordan Peterson has said, I think in that clip, and he said in other clips when he talks about the eye rolling thing, that's something he said in multiple places. He always says he's saying that's an indication that they're going to break up. Okay. And the context is that these are people going to marriage counseling to not break up.
Right.
Obvious fuckingly.
They're in big trouble.
Right. And this has nothing to do. He's like, I find fault. Listen, your analogy is a bad analogy because it doesn't 100% match the thing you're comparing it to. Really? An analogy doesn't have a complete 100% match the thing you compare it to? It's almost like then it wouldn't be a fucking analogy, then wouldn't. Then it would just be you saying about the fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course the analogy doesn't match 100%.
Yeah.
And sure, I agree that dismissing your partner, feeling disgusted by them, rolling your eyes is not a good omen for your relationship, but sometimes relationships shouldn't have good omens. In this way, this couple in Jordan Peterson's lecture works to harm his overall argument, because they are a clear case where not all challenges are good, not all speech worthy of internalizing, not from a romantic partner and perhaps by proxy, not from a political pundit. Second, and perhaps more importantly, I'm interested in where Peterson locates the problem in this struggling relationship. He seems to center the issue on dismissal, the moment where communication breaks down, but that's odd, isn't it?
How is he so stupid? I mean, Joel doesn't sound stupid. Like, he doesn't seem like he's like low IQ stupid. He hates Jordan Peterson so much that he cannot perceive anything that he's saying. Okay. All Jordan Peterson said was, if you talk to people that do relationship counseling, the number one predictor of breaking up is eye rolling. What is eye rolling? Eye rolling is disgust. He's not saying that
He's got that wrong, actually. It's actually contempt.
Well, yeah, it's true. That's true.
Anyway.
Right. But he's not saying that the person who did the eye rolling is doing something immoral or wrong in that situation. He's just saying that's the predictor, is that when you have two people that are arguing, if one person has if one person has contempt for someone in their partner, or disgust for someone in their partner, you can't get past that. And Jordan Peterson talked about this a million times, where he says, when you're arguing with a loved one, people get too much in the argument, and they end up sometimes, if they can't control themselves, they're going too far in trying to destroy the person they're arguing with, right? Yep. But and they lost sight of the thing. The thing is that you don't want to live with someone that's A, destroyed you, or B, that's destroyed. The relationship can't function that way.
Yeah.
And I know everyone has either been in relationships like this or seen relationships like this, where they see the people argue, and it's just like baffling to me that people are arguing in this way, because they have they're not even consciously thinking about their arguments and what the argument's trying to accomplish. They're just pure elephant, just pure emotion.
But Big Joel is like, but sometimes society needs to end. You know that's where he's going. You know that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, well, I guess because he's like, well, sometimes people have bad ideas and you shouldn't listen to them. It's like, well, that's great. Jordan Peterson never said you should listen to Jordan Peterson never said you should follow every single thing that every person ever fucking said. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not a thing that anyone's ever said.
Well, he's only
Obviously-
going after Jordan Peterson on this stuff because
Right.
Jordan Peterson is Jordan Peterson.
Right. No, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
If this was some woke person saying all the same stuff, Joel would be saying, "Oh, this is so good." He's talking about why you have to listen to the underprivileged people and their plight. Okay, if only the conservatives would listen to these people. But no, Jordan Peterson's saying it, so he must be listening to Nazis or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, another is coming by. Can I hear it for the buses? If a healthy civic structure or relationship demands mutual respect, demands that we internalize and confront the other, and to some extent I agree it does, then the social obligation is not just on the person listening, but also on the person speaking. You have a moral obligation to express ideas that are worthy of consideration, not to say things...
Motherfucker. Big Joel is just, he's just a little bitch. I can't believe you can listen to any of this stuff and just be like, this is so stupid. Like, why are you even saying this? This is like an entire field of study. This is coming off as really dumb, man. Like, Big Joel is just really dumb.
I'm glad that by your suggestion, we went to the end and played that for.
Yeah, this is just coming off. He's so fucking stupid in this video.
Right. Well,
How can you? You go to Google Scholar and you just look up IQ research, and there's thousands of papers, thousands of people doing research on it. This isn't just like a Jordan Peterson. Right. This is like a horoscope that he's talking about.
Mm.
This is a field of fucking well-researched field of study.
I want you to listen to what he just said.
Yes, it is insane.
Insane. Okay.
On the person listening, but also on the person speaking. You have a moral obligation to express ideas that are worthy of consideration, not to say things that are idiotic, needlessly offensive, or ridiculous.
Okay, so first of all, Joel, you've, by your own definition, failed your moral way by saying nothing but stupid shit.
Yeah,
okay.
Totally.
Secondly, this is the perfect. This isn't reverse Dunning-Kruger. This is the perfect example of Dunning-Kruger. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
He's like, you have a moral obligation to not say stupid shit.
Right. As he's failing that moral obligation.
Right. Really, Joel? Really? You have a moral obligation not to say stupid shit? Wow. You were just criticizing Jordan Peterson for saying something that you thought was fucking useless. And you just said the dumbest, most fucking useless shit. You're saying that there's a moral consideration not to say stupid shit, literally said the dumbest fucking shit on the planet. You really fucking think that Jordan Peterson or some evil Republican that you don't like, when they give some policy prescription or they say something about how they think society should be run, you think in their mind that they think, oh, this is some stupid shit, but I'm going to say it anyway?
Yeah.
Of course not. They believe it. They say, I think this is the way it should be, Joel. Just like you were sitting here saying the dumb shit that you think should be taken seriously.
Well, no,
people are not walking around thinking like, oh, I have a bunch of dumb fucking ideas I want to tell the world. That's not how anyone operates.
Well, Joel, by his own admission, he says he's listened to this video. He's not even sure it makes sense. So by his own admission, he is just saying a bunch of shit he doesn't fucking even understand.
This is like so baffling to me. There should be a moral consideration for people to say things that are smart. Oh, wow. Thank you, Joel.
Yeah.
We solved the problem, everyone. Everyone just has to take a second to say, am I saying something that's smart? Wow, we're all going to just say smart things after then. Then we're all going to agree. We're all going to be geniuses and society's going to be better because we're all going to temper ourselves.
He hasn't solved the problem, though. He's actually made it worse because he's literally saying the people who say stupid shit are like morally inferior. Who do you think says stupid shit? The low IQ people.
Yes.
So he's basically condemned the low IQ people, not only as low IQ, but now immoral.
This is insane to me. Yeah, Big Joel is morally deficient by his own definition. This is insane.